Right then, on to another project, but this is a customer's car, but we've been told to sort of treat it like it's his own project. Bit of something different as well. So if we have a look, the E-Glide, we'll see, this is a 20 plate car, which is not even registered yet. So it's got the number plates, but it's not actually properly registered. It's not going to be taxed until the beginning of next month. So we've got 3 weeks before that happens. Basically, this has been brought to us for a load of stuff doing that we'll go over in a second. But if you just have a look here, this is probably the biggest thing. Look at how many miles it's done. So we've got 241 miles on the clock. So literally, other than the person delivering this, we're going to be the only people that's driven it. Before the customers even drove it, it's been delivered straight to us from the dealership for us to work as magic. So it's the 3 litre V6 with the ZF8 gearbox. So this is a combination that they should have done when they first built the Amarok. So have a look under the bonnet. Where's the bloody bonnet pull on this thing? Yeah, it's here. It's on the other side. Shows how much I know about Amaroks. So, oh dear, not even got a bonnet stay on these either. And one thing I've noticed already, even if you do spend 50 grand on a truck, you still don't get central locking on your rear tailgate. But anyway, it is what it is. So, this is the V6 TDI, which I'll pull this off. You can see how messy they are underneath. We're getting somewhere. So this is the sort of newest iteration of the latest generation engines. So you can see it's very, very clean, which is you'd expect. This is very similar to the engine that's in our A4 that Scott bought, which we'll put that clip in that we use all the time that everybody seems to like. The difference in this is obviously the 8-speed gearbox, the 4-wheel drive system's a little bit different, and the turbo on this one, I've not even looked at it myself, but yeah, this is a 2060, so it's still the same, this is still the same turbo that's on the 216 Rs or something like that, the A4 that we've got. But this turbo is the same again, all the way up to the 286s. The 300 horsepower engine that's the same as this that came in the Porsche, that had a bigger turbo, which that's an upgrade for these, but the customer's not wanting to go for that one-step upgrade. They're wanting to go as far as we can take it. So the plans are probably going to be GTD 28 turbo, see how far we push standard fuel system. We've got an upgraded fuel pump that'll bolt straight on, see if we need that, and once we get to that point, then I'm hoping that we don't need to, because it's not really been priced in, but if the injectors that are in this as standard don't quite do what we want to do, which we think they should, but we've said that a few times before, we'll then have to get a set of injectors that are a bit bigger and see what sort of power we can get out of that. But quite a few customers are really keen for us to do little bits and bats for these engines because there's not a lot available at the minute. Like the tip pipe, they're a lot better on these than on the previous generations. This is a nice smooth one. But the others are like a corrugated, convoluted thing. They're absolutely rubbish. So we'll probably do a tip pipe silicone for these. We already do one for 2 litres, I believe. 2 litre Amaroks. Obviously, we'll do all the check that all the deletes that we've got for the, I think it was 2017, the one that we did all the deletes on before. We'll check that all them are the same for this one as part of the job. I'm not quite sure what we're going to leave on this. During the development phase, we're probably going to be deleting everything because it's all going to see dyno use. And then we'll see what happens with that one. But it's definitely going to end up with an exhaust. And then the main other thing that everybody seems to ask us for, and we've not really got anything for them at the minute, is going to be an intercooler system, which I don't think you can even see intercooler very easily here. I think it's hiding. Yeah, there's a bit of ducting going up there, but not really much aiming down there. So intercooler's just at the bottom there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it from where you are, Danny. It'll be through there, yeah. So we're going to make a big intercooler kit, but the main thing that these have problems with, we've got a lot of logs from people in like Australia and New Zealand where these are quite popular. When they're towing, especially uphill for a long period of time with an heavy trailer, the gearbox and the engine oil temperatures just go absolutely mental. I think one guy sent us a log and it was just sat at 145 degree oil temps all the time. So that's no good, because what he needs to be doing is dropping his oil after it's got that hot. So we're going to come up with them coolers as well and do a nice packaged setup. It's not going to be the cheapest thing that we've done, but these are not a cheap thing. I think probably 50 grand worth of truck here. So we'll do what we can. We'll make it as nice and as neat as possible. And hopefully, I don't know how it's all going to pan out with it being so new. I'm hoping that the tuning phase goes to plan. And we've got this car sorted as long as we need it. We've at least got it for 4 to 5 weeks. But I'm hoping we can get it done a bit quicker. But if there's any custom products need to be made that's going to need machining and farming out, we're going to be struggling a little bit. So what we'll do first, we'll get out in this, see what it does on the road, and then we'll do a remap on it, see what it does on the dyno and on the road as well. So we'll get the figures today, and then we'll figure out what's the best way of organising everything. See how we get on. So, seems like ages ago we were doing that first bit of vlog, waiting about for Danny to finish messing about with his cameras and all that carry on. So, we're out in the Amarok. Oh, it's got stop start. We have to code that out. Can't be dealing with that. Where's the button gone? It's there. Yeah, can't be dealing with stop start, so that's first job. Code that out. Don't do your turbo bearings any good when you've just been out braying it and it decides to turn the engine off. But anyway, so as I always find when I'm driving these Amaroks, I'm not a big fan at ride quality as standard. They're designed to have a tongue pallet in back, so a bit bouncy, unless there's some weight in back, so feels a bit weird compared to like a transporter van or something that's got coil springs rather than leaf springs. So at the minute, totally standard, 8.5 degrees outside and dry. So if ever there's a good time to try some launching, see what 0 to 60 times it can do, it's today. So we'll get pulled over. I think we'll probably want traction control off and sport mode on gearbox. Pull over here. I don't believe this has got proper launch control. We'll just have to see what it does with clutch tight foot on the brake, and then full throttle. So what did we get? 7.2 to 60. Not bad. Not bad for a big old bus. So, attempt 2. So 7.3 to 60 that time. Fair improvement. So what we'll do now, it's probably not going to be as quick because we've not actually even read this car yet. Normally when I do this sort of test we've already got a file read, but I wanted to do it raw. I wanted to drive it. I want to be the first person to drive it, make sure it's all alright before we start chopping stuff and voiding warranties. So we'll get it into the into tuning. We might dyno it first, and then if the conditions change a lot between this sort of time and the next time that we run it, I'll make sure that we put it back to standard and do the test sort of at the same time, standard and then tune. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how we get on.